All right. 2-point perspective. I already have a few things on my screen. I have my horizon line, I have 2 vanishing points, and I have in the bottom left corner just a reminder to use those pro tips. You have so many notes in your binder. You have a few videos in Google Classroom, pictures in Google Classroom. Use them to help you. Always remember to draw lightly, and always be sure to use your ruler for every single line so that everything is clean and neat. So after we have vanishing points 1 and 2 and the horizon line, we want to start by drawing a box. The first thing we're going to do is draw the corner of that box using a vertical line. My vertical lines and my converging lines are going to be green for right now. I'm going to start wherever I want. There's my first line. That's my first step. My next step is to draw a line from each end of the short line I just drew to both vanishing points. So that'll look like this. That one line that I drew should have 4 converging lines, 2 on the top, 2 on the bottom. Both are going to the vanishing point. The converging lines on the left go to the left vanishing point. The converging lines on the right go to the right vanishing point. Now I want to complete the visible sides of the box by drawing the corners. Where I'm going to show you, I'm going to draw lines that are vertical and parallel to the first line that I drew. If you're having trouble with making parallel lines, use your ruler and line up the bottom of your ruler with the bottom of your paper to help make sure it is perfectly vertical and parallel with all vertical lines. Now I'm going to go to my farthest line to the right and draw a converging line to the left vanishing point. Next, I'm going to go to my vertical line all the way to the left and draw a line from the left vertical line to the right vanishing point. Now you will start to see that first box is complete. It is below the horizon line. Your horizon line is your eye height, which means you can see the top of this box. If the box is above the horizon line, that means it's above my eye height, which means I cannot see onto the top. I'm going to add 2 more boxes to this composition, and then we'll move on to windows and doors. Starting on the right side, I'm just going to continue that line on the right that I drew earlier, and I'm going to put it a little bit above the horizon line. I'm going to repeat my second step from before. The bottom of this line that I drew needs to go to both vanishing points. Right here. It is already going to the vanishing point on the right, so now it needs to go to the vanishing point on the left. The top also needs to go to both vanishing points. This line that I drew is correct. However, we're not actually going to see that line because it is behind the first box that we drew. Now I need to figure out how wide I want my building to be. Where are the edges? I'm going to draw vertical lines to show me And now my second box is complete. I cannot see on top of the roof because it is above the vanishing point. Now I'm going to do one more to finish this off. I'm going to go on the far left, and I'm going to start with the line I drew on the left, and I'm actually going to place it right onto the vanishing point. That vanishing point is going to be the roof of my building. If the roof is falling on the vanishing point, then the building is going to appear to be flat on top. Now let's figure out how wide we want the building. Okay, and then one more on the right of this building to show me how deep this building is. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over my boxes with the color black to show you what I'm going to keep. Anything that isn't black is something that you would erase on your paper. Okay, so to show you what that looks like without any of my horizon line, vanishing point, or converging lines. Right now I have 3 boxes that are showing 2-point perspective. I can see one box, I can see the roof because it's below the horizon line. The second box looks flat because the top is perfectly aligned with my horizon line. And then the third box, the tallest one, looks like it's pointing up, and I cannot see on top of it because it is above the horizon line. So let's bring back those other lines. Let's move on to some windows and doors. I'm going to focus on just the building in the front, that first box that we saw. You can draw windows by deciding how high up on the building you would like them and projecting the converging lines back to the vanishing point. For example, I'm going to go back to my green, and I'm just going to choose a spot on my building and draw a converging line back to the vanishing point. I'm going to try to use this space from the top of the building to that converging line. I'm going to try to keep that space even and draw a few more converging lines. Notice I'm on the right side of the building. The windows on the right side of the building, the top and the bottom of those windows are going to go to the right of the vanishing point. Now I'm going to use my ruler, and I'm going to line up the bottom of my ruler with the bottom of my paper, and I'm going to draw a vertical line, and I'm going to start picking out my windows. Then I'm going to go on the left side of my building and draw a converging line that connects with all 4 converging lines I drew before, just like this. And I'm going to do the same thing. Vertical lines that I'm drawing with my ruler, as my ruler is lined up with the bottom of my paper. The farther the windows are in the back, the smaller they get. I'm going to switch over to my black to show you where my windows are. And if you want to, you can come in and give these a little bit of shading using hatching. That's up to you. Then I would repeat the same process on the left side of the building. But the last thing I want to do is add a door. So I'm going to take a converging line. I'm going to go a little bit lower on my building on the same side, on that left side. Draw one last converging line on that side. Decide how wide and how tall I want my building to be. And I'm going to draw 2 vertical lines to represent the door. And there's my door. And then today, the last thing I want us to start working on are some natural features. A natural feature is something that you would typically see on a street. For example, a curb and some street lamps. So I'm going to add a curb and some street lamps. If you want to add any more stuff, like try to make a car or trash cans or anything else that you would typically see in a street, go ahead and try it out. If I'm going to do a curb, I'm going to come to this corner and I'm going to go straight down and put a dot right here. Then I'm going to draw converging lines to that dot to connect it. It's going to go to both sides. That means my curb is almost done. If you want to put lines in your curb, like a sidewalk, you got to make sure that if it's on this side, the left side, all of your lines need to go to the left vanishing point. For example, if I drew a few of those lines, that's what this would look like. And if I wanted to do a street light, then I would draw a vertical line wherever I want. And then every light that goes closer to you or farther away follows that linear perspective. So it will get smaller. And smaller as it gets into space. So if I switch over to my black to show you everything I just drew for my curb or my sidewalk, look something like this. And my street lamps. Look something like that. If you have any questions, raise your hand and let me know. You can continue to watch this video and pause it. You also have plenty of notes and videos. Draw lightly, use a ruler for every line. Let me know if you got any questions. Get to work.